Welcome to the first of many videos where we explore the process of installing various Linux distributions from beginning to end, from downloading to getting a game up and running. Today, we're focusing on Manjaro. Why Manjaro? Linux distributions are built of many layers, and near the very bottom, just above the kernel, is the foundational layer. This is normally either Debian or Arch. SteamOS is built off of Arch. So if you're one of the many people who's waiting for SteamOS to come out with an official desktop release and you want something to use in the meantime, you might think that the best thing to use would be something Arch-based, which would naturally lead you potentially to Manjaro, as it is one of the most popular Arch-based distros. So that's why we're doing this one first. Let's see how beginner-friendly it is. If you're using this video as a tutorial and you'll be following along, the first thing you'll need is a Ventoy USB. If you're unsure about what that is, here is the any % speedrun version. If I go too fast for you in this section of the video, I have an entire video where I go over that process in much more detail. It's called Try Before You Buy. I'll link it somewhere, or at least show you the thumbnail. So here it is. Grab a USB. Make sure that you've backed up all of your important data off of that USB. Plug that USB into your computer and download Ballerina Etcher. Once you've got Ballerina Etcher downloaded and installed for either Windows, Mac, or even Linux, download Ventoy. Now in Ballerina Etcher, select Ventoy as the image to flash and select your USB drive as the destination. Make sure you have all of your data backed up from the USB because this will wipe everything that's already on the USB. Backing up your data will be something we revisit multiple times in this video. So from here on, I'm going to assume that that was either enough of an explanation or you have watched my other video, but either way, you have a Ventoy USB. And for those who are just watching just to see if Manjaro is something they might want to consider, kick back, relax, because we're getting into it now. Let's start with the search engine. My search engine looks like this, but your search engine might look like this. And if it looks like this, then get help. I'm going to type in Manjaro and hit enter. Make sure that the link you click on is this link over here, this URL, and not something else pretending to be Manjaro. Manjaro is off to a great start. Here we can see the download button right on the front page and no cookie pop-ups as well. Once we click download, we get multiple options for desktop environments, which I have discussed in another video. We're going to select the default, which is KDE Plasma. That is more of a Windows-like experience. Other distros in the future will have GNOME as their default experience, so that's why I'm sticking with the default. But if you like the look of GNOME, or you like the look of macOS in general, don't fret, we're going to look at that in a future video. For now, let's click download on KDE Plasma. For the sake of this video, Manjaro has been downloaded to my desktop, but yours might default to your downloads folder. So as long as you know where it's downloaded to, you're fine to go. My Ventoy USB is plugged in, so I'm going to now either drag and drop or copy and paste Manjaro onto the Ventoy USB. This is much like transferring any data to a USB. Once that transfer is done, if you're using a Windows PC that you're about to wipe, this is another reminder to back up all the data on your Windows PC because we're about to shut down this computer if this is the computer that you want to wipe Windows from. Even if you are partitioning, meaning that you are splitting a hard drive in two and you want to have Linux on one side and Windows on the other, make sure you back up your data because data corruption can still happen. And even if you're installing Linux onto a completely separate SSD, you know what I'm going to say, back up your data. Lots of people learn the very hard way of why they should back up their data. And make sure that you have backups in multiple locations. I don't recommend cloud storage, but we'll look at alternatives to OneDrive and Google Drive in another video. So with the USB plugged into the computer that you want to install Linux on, make sure that computer is turned off. Now find the delete key on your keyboard. Once you've found it, hover your finger over the delete key. And with your other hand, press the power button. Your PC should boot up, and as soon as it starts booting, or as soon as you hear the fan start spinning, start pressing delete repeatedly. This is going to interrupt the default boot process, and if Windows was on this computer before, then that was where it was defaulting to. Instead, we're going to enter the BIOS. This is a gigabyte BIOS because it's a gigabyte motherboard. Your BIOS might look different, but either way, you're looking for an option called boot override. On this motherboard, it is under the save and exit menu. Once there, your USB might be named something different to what it was when you flashed it with Ventoy. Here, my USB is named Telcast Cool Flash. That is the hardware name, or how the hardware identifies my USB. So that's what I want to boot into. And should this be working correctly, we are now booting into Ventoy. Here you can see a list of all the distros that I had on this USB, and I could boot into any one of them, but this video is about Manjaro, so we're going to boot into Manjaro. Now for the first hiccup. If you select Manjaro, you get the option to boot into either normal mode or Grub 2 mode. If you boot into normal mode, it doesn't work with Manjaro. Normal mode does work with a lot of other distros, but it doesn't work with Manjaro for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I'm not going to fault the Manjaro developers for this, because they probably recommend flashing the USB with just Manjaro and can't account for every single Ventoy-like application. So select Grub 2, and then you will get into the Manjaro boot menu. Here, it's going to hover over boot with open source drivers, and we have a few options that we could pick, but we don't need to do anything. There's a countdown, and at the end of that countdown, it will automatically boot with open source drivers. So that's a great first-time user experience. Now you're going to see a bunch of code jump up on the screen, and don't worry about it, this isn't something you have to interact with. This is just Manjaro getting started, and Windows and Mac do the exact same thing, except that they show their logo and hide all the code. But speaking of logos, after a few moments, we're greeted with the Manjaro logo, and we're on the desktop. This is where the try before you buy video stops, but we're going to go further. We're going to properly install Manjaro. So if you just want to try it out before you install it, you can stop here, but let's keep going. The first thing I'm going to do is close this Manjaro Hello window by clicking the X in the top right corner, just like Windows. And then I'm going to double click on the Install Manjaro icon on the desktop, just like I would if I wanted to open something on the desktop on Windows. I'm going to stop saying just like I would on Windows now, because you get the picture. Language and time zone are self-explanatory. One thing I should have done when I did this was double check my keyboard layout, because when I go to sign into Steam later, the @ key by holding Shift and pressing 2 was actually a different key. So I should have selected US layout to make sure. So double check that you've selected the right keyboard layout. And now we get to the scary part. This is the part where we tell the Manjaro installer what we'd like to do, whether it's partitioning or erasing the previous SSD. First, make sure that you have the right SSD selected from the drop-down menu above. If you only have one SSD installed, then that should be the only option, besides perhaps the USB drive. But if you have multiple SSDs and you want to try and dual boot, then make sure you select the right one. I'm just going to erase disk here, treating this as a single operating system computer. This means that everything on this SSD will be wiped. Again, make sure you've backed everything up from what was on the SSD before, because Manjaro is about to wipe it and do a fresh install. So we haven't even installed Manjaro properly yet, and we've already got to two things that Windows can't do. The first one I'll highlight is this little tick box here. Log in automatically without asking for a password. That is something that Windows cannot do out of the box and not supported. And if someone does tell you it's possible to do, ask them how, because it's more complicated than using terminal on Linux. Now, why would you want this option? Well, let's say that you are using this PC as just a gaming PC and you want to plug it into your TV and just treat it like a console. You can set Steam to boot on startup and go straight to big picture mode, meaning that you can control it entirely with a controller. But Windows always wants you to type in your password, and you can't type in your password with a controller. So the abandon keyboard and mouse and treat this like a console experience is completely ruined for Windows. Now on to the next thing that Manjaro can do that Windows can't. Here I'm going to type in a name and password, and this is a local account, meaning it doesn't need to contact the internet for any reason to create this account. Windows doesn't do local accounts. It used to, but Microsoft removed that feature because they want to take as much data from you as humanly possible. And guess what? You can hack your way around it, but you need command prompt, and they keep breaking that. So with every Windows update, it could break this again, meaning you have to find another workaround. Not very beginner friendly. So far, that's 2 strikes against Microsoft. And we haven't even installed Manjaro yet. The computer name is what your home network will see, what your router will identify your computer as. I like to make it something memorable because I do check my home network for unauthorized devices. So I'd recommend making it something memorable for you as well. We also have the option to install an Office suite. You could skip this entirely if you don't need any Word, PowerPoint, or Excel-like things, or you can install it later. The choice is yours. I'm going to install LibreOffice. Now for the final check. This is double checking that all the settings we've selected are correct, because once we hit that button, we are wiping the SSD and getting a full install of Manjaro. Once again, we're not done installing, and here's our 3rd strike against Microsoft. The install time. Under 6 minutes. I've sped it up in this footage because you don't want to sit here for 6 minutes watching the install process. But the last time I installed Windows, it took over half an hour, which is ridiculous. Probably because, again, they're trying to send as much data as humanly possible up to train their AI. So once Manjaro is done installing, we have the option to restart. And then once we select that, your computer should boot back into the fresh Manjaro install, which is now on the SSD that you selected. Once we're back, don't forget to go to the bottom right of the Manjaro Hello window and toggle off the launch at start option so this doesn't keep popping up every single time. That's about as far as we get for pop-ups on Manjaro, which is really impressive considering Windows tries to do it every 5 minutes. If you are using this as some sort of media PC, or you're just using a 4K display or TV, then right-click on the desktop and go to Display Configuration. I really like it when display settings and display configuration is on the desktop or right-click away because it's kind of a shortcut to the entire settings menu. So here on Display Configuration, I personally recommend 200% for 4K displays, but you can adjust it to anything you like. This is also relevant to those using 1440p displays. Then next up, let's go and select dark mode for those of you who don't like light mode. We click the back button right here in the top left, and we go to colors and themes. Here I'm going to select breathe dark, and that's going to change the system over to dark mode. Don't forget to click apply. So if you just need to web browse, you could technically stop here, but I'd recommend we update. Don't freak out, this isn't like the Windows update process. Here on the taskbar, we have the add remove software icon. This is the application that manages our updates and helps us install other applications. All of this without terminal. This isn't like the Microsoft Store or the Mac App Store, where you go to pay more for apps that are available elsewhere for cheaper. This is actually a preferred method for those of you who don't want to use terminal. Because as I mentioned in my last video, you don't need to use terminal in 2025, which is great for beginners or people who just want to use their computer in a really simple way, such as even gaming. So here was my second hiccup with Manjaro. When I clicked on updates at the very top, and then I clicked apply, a few times over, the update process failed. It would install several packages and then fail, and I would have to keep clicking apply. By the way, that password window there, that is the same password that you put in for your local account, or if you put a separate password for your administrator password, it will likely be that. So I'm not sure, again, if this was a me problem with my home network or something, but I did have to click apply several times to get all the updates installed, but I eventually got there. So if you're following along, let me know how this section goes for you. Now here comes another Microsoft versus Manjaro test. Normally, when you do updates on Windows, I suspect half of those updates are actually ads and not actually doing anything to the operating system. So this is the part where if we restart on Windows, we'd likely get the Use Microsoft's recommended browser settings window pop up, which is infuriating for tech-savvy people and beginners alike. And what does Manjaro do? Absolutely nothing. Lets us right back into the operating system, because the operating system should really get out of the way and let us actually use the computer the way we want to, right? Now let's go and install Steam. Back to Add Remove Software, and searching for Steam is easy enough. However, we get two options here, and we're not quite sure which one to select from the offset. However, this is kind of a trick question, because when you install one, it will install the other, as one of them is the Steam client and the other is a Steam dependency. We've talked about dependencies before in the case of Flatpaks, where all of the dependencies come with the app and it's a one-click install and very easy to use. And more importantly, when it comes to cleanup, uninstalling Steam, for instance, not that anyone would really do that, but if we wanted to uninstall an app, the dependencies should leave, at least with a Flatpak. That's not the case here. This is what came before Flatpaks. It is the default package format for Arch-based distros. And you can see here, when you go to install Steam, that we get a long list of these dependencies. These will install in our system and won't disappear when we uninstall Steam. We'll have to manually uninstall them. But let's move on for now. Once that's done, let's go over to the Start menu, probably not a Start menu for copyright reasons, and find Steam. Once we find Steam, we click on it and it goes into its other install process, which is what you'd see on Windows. And for the most part, this is exactly how the Windows experience would go. It's going to install, it's going to ask us to log in, and once we're in the Steam UI, it's going to still feel almost identical to Windows. Besides one thing, which we're about to get into. When I was recording this, I mistakenly thought that Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep had a benchmark mode, so I installed that first. But we're going to ignore that for now and look at what else Steam installed. See all of that? That's Proton. Quick refresh, that is the translation layer that allows Windows games to run on Linux. So when I went to Batman Arkham City and installed that, it didn't need to install another version of Proton because it's just using the default version of Proton. So once the default version is installed, most games should be as simple as click play and you're in. And that's what happened with Tiny Tina and with Batman Arkham City. And here are the benchmark results for Batman Arkham City. They won't be as high as what you might have seen in my previous video because this is weaker hardware. Now, one final thing, we can enable Flatpaks in the Add Remove Software section. We go over here into this menu and select this option. As far as a beginner-friendly approach goes, this isn't necessarily great, as a beginner might not even know that they needed to do this in the first place, because they might not understand the difference between AURs and Flatpaks. However, again, I'm not going to fault Manjaro for this, because the great thing about the Linux ecosystem is that if Flatpaks working out of the box was a really important thing for you personally, you can always use a distro that actually does that. Remember, this is all about finding the right distro for you. So that's how easy it is to get Manjaro up and running for gaming. We had a few hiccups, such as needing to select Grub 2 in the Ventoy menu, updates having a bit of a moment, again, I'm not sure if that's a me problem or if that's something else, and needing to enable Flatpaks. However, compared to all the things that Windows can't do, local accounts, logging in automatically, short install times, and no full page ads after multiple restarts from pretend updates, with all of that considered, I'd say Manjaro is absolutely a contender to replace Windows.